This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Delighted to be joined, Maxi Hughes. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right. I'm coming down now after that quality fight. Reece has just put on that performance. Obviously, I were open, but my adrenaline excitement's coming down now. I think I've got to drive home yet, and I think I need a coffee before I go home, mate. I
was just saying to Josh Warrington there, I had the privilege of sitting next to him those first 4 rounds, mate. My word.
Yeah, real back and forth, you know. I think what happened, Reece easily won the first round, and then he obviously wobbled Gaz, legs dipped. I think Reece just maybe got a little bit giddy, put a bit too much in, tired himself out a bit. Then that allowed Gaz to come back in, you know, a real back and forth, and then, you know, then Reece, you know, we were I don't know, just shouting, just box, and you know, he got it and he listened and he outboxed him.
Relatively comfortable in the end, wasn't he, when he was on his boxing?
Yeah, and that is, see Rob, that's best I've seen him. We've always known he can do it. He's shown bits of it in gym, but he just likes to scrap. You know, and that is good for when you need it. Like, he had to dig deep, but he showed another level that he can box, he can listen, and he can move, and that's what's got him win tonight.
And you called out a certain Maxi Hughes?
I'm not ready for a fight like that. I'm too old for a fight like that, I think. Fucking hell, like, I found it a lot easier tonight on the other side of ropes. Yeah. Although, you know, doing that ring walk, I'm more nervous, you know, same when other lads in gym fight, I get more nervous when they're doing their ring walk as, you know, just as a second in corner helping than I do my own fights. It's fucking horrible, like, but, you know, you've got to be there, haven't you?
Talking about yourself, what's next? There's obviously rumours flying around with who you might be fighting, where you might be fighting. Can you give us anything?
So the rumours are, you know, that I'm supposed to be fighting Gary Cully. They've offered that contract, but I've still got a review contract with. When we just moved, like, I think it were only sent about a week and a half ago. You know, I only moved house then. So when I'd moved house, we moved in, fucking tanking loft split, pipe above kitchen split. So there's been water coming out of every spotlight in there. So, you know, and then, you know, amongst trying to train and thingy, everything's been a bit chaotic. So I haven't had time. You know what them contracts are like? They're done by lawyers. They're not meant for people like me to read because I'm not clever enough to. So it takes me a long time, and you know, and I've got my team, you know, looking at it as well, and we've got to send it to lawyers. Lawyers have got to review it, thingy. So yeah, we're looking at that. That is the offer to fight him in Dublin. I don't understand why I as the champion have to go to the challenge backyard and get treated like the B side as the away fighter. But there's lots to look at and, you know, and explore and negotiate. So that's where we're at. But that, you know, that's not wild May. So if that's when I'm being targeted at fighting, you know, I've got a bit of time. I am training now anyway, but it just gives me chance with the house and stuff as well, because, you know, I've got 2 young kids who have had to. It's been a big move for them as well. So I had to help settle them in, make sure that the house isn't leaking, make sure we don't turn it into a big swimming pool. Yeah, so it's been a bit chaotic last couple of weeks, but, you know, we're getting there and we're starting to pick up training and stuff. So we'll get my team on it, and we should have some fight news, you know, soonish.
Are you getting itchy knuckles, or do you worry about momentum, Maxi? Because, you know, it's only 18 months ago that people were quite rightly saying fighter of the year, Maxi Hughes, fantastic, what a journey. You've had some big wins, some big nights. Now there's a little bit of a rest period. Are you welcome for it? Or are you just dying to get back in?
Yeah, you know, obviously I love to fight. It's my job. You know, I'd love to fight 3 to 4 times a year, but it's been, you know, it's obviously been just twice a year, last couple of years, which I don't mind. You know, with the level that I'm at now. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. I want to fight, but with how it's working and the level that I'm fighting at, you know, the bigger fights, and I want the biggest fights. So yeah, I'm happy with twice a year. But, you know, you do get a bit excited, you know, especially seeing gym mates, you know. You see them go through camp, and we have a night like this, especially when obviously it's successful like this, you know, you're right, getting, I want to go now, I want it to be my turn.
Can I ask you just 2 or 3 quick ones elsewhere?
Yeah.
We were at the Anthony Joshua press conference yesterday, changed his trainer, Jermaine Franklin's his comeback fight. Just what do you make of the trainer change and the opponent coming back?
Only Joshua knows, but yeah, I've changed trainers a couple of times in my career, but like obviously Sean has found the best way of bringing the best out of me. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I think that takes a couple of fights. You know, you've got to really get to know each other. Like Derek James is trainer, isn't he? So, you know, it might take a couple of fights so we can see really what, you know, they're working on and working together. It can't just happen like that, you know. So, you know, I wish him well. You know, it's obviously Franklin as well. His last performance, good performance, was a controversial loss, wasn't it, to Dylan White? So he showed he's at a good level. So you know, it's a good comeback fight. That, for me, that's the only, not problem, but the only sort of difference at heavyweight is, whereas like in the lightweight division, like just for example where I am, it's fucking stacked. One person retires, there's another top contender replacing him. Whereas the heavyweights feel like there's just a big gulf. You've got your lower level guys, and then you've got up here your world class. There's nowhere in between. So there's sort of a, you know, a handful of them to choose from at that top level where Joshua's at. You know, that no one's to say that Franklin can't cause an upset. But you have to go with Joshua in that, just not to do with his new trainer, just from his natural ability and how good he actually is.
Wood Lara next Saturday. We'll not go into too much about Richard Lara because there's certain Mr. Warrington's within a year shot. How do you see that one going?
I see Lee Wood coming through that. From what I've seen in Lara, you know, he's clearly heavy-handed, but you know, he can also be susceptible in the fight with Emilio Sanchez. That was his last one. No, the one before his last one. It looked like he was on the verge of being stopped. He got hurt at body, gassed, and obviously, you know, Lee's on a good run of form. So, you know, obviously I'll favour Lee for that one.
Last one. You've talked about 2 fights a year, Maxi. You've talked about, you know, coming back. Do you have a set idea of what you're going to do when you finish with the business? And the reason I ask that is obviously we've all seen the Kell Brook video, and he's openly admitted he's struggling to come to terms with life after boxing. Is that something that you think ahead for?
It is a bit. I'm trying to look and try and find things that I want to do, because, you know, I want to enjoy life. I mean, I get a bit. I can sometimes be down. I don't struggle. I just get down, and I can be a bit fucking mardy and a bit pissy right out. You know, just between fights, when obviously when you get a fight announced, you're building up, you fight, and then you slowly start coming down, and you're still talking about it, people are still talking, and then nothing, and then you just go into sort of just in limbo. You're like, I'm waiting for the next fight, I don't know what's happening, when something come in, and that's the period where I don't like most, because I'm scratching around. You know, I've obviously got my family, but it's hard because, and then I do worry about. I think, oh, I'm going to be like in retirement when it's gone. You know, it is something I worry about. You know, and I suppose only people who are in the fight game sort of understand, because, you know, it's hard, and, you know, promoters, you know, once you're done, they don't, you know, there's no fault. Hey, how are you doing? Is retirement all right? Hope you're doing well. If you need help, you know, come and. There's none of that. So, you know, you're left fending for yourself. So, I do have, you know, I think about it. So I'm just, you know, still in process, thinking, what do I want to do? What am I going to do? What avenues and stuff like that. So, I'm still in process. So, yeah.
Very, very last one, Maxi. Immediate future 2023, what can we expect from you this year?
Hopefully 2 fights, but obviously I'm ranked well. 12 or 13 with WBC, 9 with IBF, and last couple of weeks I've gone to number 10 with Ring Magazine. I hold the IBO title, so I want big fights, mate. You know, I'm not getting any younger. I don't want to be in it for much longer. You know, keep putting my body for getting it in face. So a couple of big fights that'll do me. You know, I want to win one of the main 4 world before I retire. If I can say, yeah, you know, obviously I'm very proud of the IBO. You know, not everybody recognises it as a proper world title, one of the main 4. So my goal is to win one at main 4, or failing that, a load of cash.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day, Maxi, isn't it?
That's it.
Maxi, always appreciate your time. You're always a gentleman. I look forward to catching you next fight week.
Cheers, pal. Yes, speak soon.